Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to Barb's Basement. So I'm going to be solo today because we had a little bit of a COVID scare. Zach may have been around somebody who may or may not be positive, so we're just kind of playing it safe a little bit, not too worried about it. But let's just say it's been a bad week for Brian. This has been a little rough. For those of you who aren't in the Discord and you're not aware, I busted the absolute crap out of my ankle. So, old Uncle Brian, let's see if I can get that. I got an ice bag and my foot wrapped up. So, went out skateboarding, got a little bit full of myself. I landed a trick and I thought to myself, I think I could land that better. Why don't I take that one more time? And that's a classic mistake. So, I landed bizarrely once, and it looked super gnarly, and I was like, oh, damn, that felt pretty bad, but I think I'm okay. So I moved on to another trick, tried that, and just sort of fell a little bit, and it just shattered my ankle. So went to the doctor, got a x-ray, turns out that it's just severely sprained, but it felt like something had snapped in my foot. So, yeah, I'm feeling it. So I'm running on very little sleep. I'm running on a busted ankle. Just having some allergy issues and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't love the last episode of Kenobi. So it's just all around not great. It's all around not great today. But since I'm solo streaming, I figured, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and play some more SWTOR? And we'll just kind of shoot the shit. We'll talk. We'll hang out. It won't be a super long stream today, just because, like I said, I'm really feeling it. It's like I have bruises on both my palms, so picking up anything or putting like weight on my hands, man, it sucks. It really blows. Strike, glad to have you here. Zim, happy to have you. Eddie, love you, man. Thank you for making it out. Yeet Productions, bah. I heard the show isn't great. We'll get to that. So, I just wanted to say we are on the cusp of 20,000 subscribers. And that is, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand why anybody watches our stuff. Hello there, just had to come cross the field and take the trash out. Ben, happy to have you here, buddy. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for making it out. You're soothing these old bones. But, yeah. I figured we can get a little bit into Kenobi, and I'm going to start a new character just because I'm a freak like that. And I got the audio for the actual game itself muted. That way we can kind of, like, shoot the shit, talk a little bit. But, yeah. So, episode 4 was, something. I don't want to be like too negative on the show because everyone's being sort of negative on a lot of these things. So I don't want to be like too over the top about it. You know what I mean? But, I'm definitely not going to lie. That last episode didn't make me feel great about the show. I just want to like make it known this will be a spoiler filled live stream. I'm just going to talk about like basically everything that happened. So if you haven't watched it, if you have no interest in watching it, I just wanted to let you know. SWTOR and Matu, that's wrong. Yeah, Matu's busy tonight, and this is technically not supposed to be a SWTOR stream. This is just me hanging out, But Matu and I, we will be doing a SWTOR stream where we'll be back on our Sith. But yeah, so episode 4 of Kenobi, I was expecting, because like they name dropped a bunch of stuff from Legends, just in general. Corn Horn, sort of like, he's name dropped in there, not directly name dropped, but we got Quinlan Voss. I know that he's both canon and both Legends. But in Jabim, I was like, okay, we're gonna get some cool shit here. We're gonna get something that's like kind of insane. So this is something that I feel like most of the Star Wars shows have had a problem with overall. Is we're gonna have a lady. We're gonna have Lady Jedi this time. Every Star Wars show that's been on Disney Plus feels so small like contained and tightly packed into like 4 biomes. So in contrast to that, I just watched the first episode of Miss Marvel, which it seemed very bright, colorful. There's like lots of unique camera movements. It was very, very dynamic. Like it felt interesting, to say the least. It felt cool. It felt like some artistic choices went into it. And this last episode of Kenobi, there was just some things about it that didn't feel right. And there's been like little editing mistakes here and there throughout the show that I just kind of have not loved. So like, first off, the chase scenes have all been weird the entire time. The Leia chase scene, as we all know, and that first episode, a little bizarre. Just some of like the spatial awareness of the show is just a little bit off. So as Eddie is mentioning here in the chat, there's multiple things that are weird about the the Inquisitor's like home base. One of like the really big things that I find very, very, very bizarre is I think they call it like hanging a lantern, where they're like, okay, so we know this is going to be like a ridiculous plot point. So instead of addressing that ridiculous plot point, we're just going to hang this lantern here. We're saying, hey, this is ridiculous. We can all recognize that this is ridiculous. So they're trying to, I'm sorry if I didn't get that analogy right, but they're trying to like state before somebody wants to question it that their home base doesn't have any shields. They're like, because who would be crazy enough to like attack the Inquisitor's base? That's just so stupid. That's just like such a dumb thing to write into the show. It's like you wrote that scenario. Like you made that up. Like there's nothing in canon, as far as I know, saying that that's not a thing that the Inquisitors have. So I'm like, okay, first little bit of an issue there. I'll take that for what it is. And regardless of like how dumb of a plot point that is, that there's just no shielding and they can just like fly straight up. It just seemed like no one was in that much of like a hurry or a bother, that I cannot remember the name of like that Imperial who's helping out Obi-Wan. Everyone's just like affectionately calling her like Game of Thrones lady. But I just find it to be bizarre that nobody in this Imperial base, it just seems like there's no rush to anything. Like even Obi-Wan's not really like that worried about being caught. There's a few scenes there where Obi-Wan's like hiding and using the Force like to distract some of the guards or whatever. But it's hard to put like my finger on, but it just felt off. And I will say that I was defending the fire scene in episode 3, where Vader is attacking Obi-Wan, lights the thing on fire. The lady comes and helps him, and that whole rigmarole. I was like, okay, they got to be building to something. They have to be building towards some form of, Vader's going to say, oh, like I wasn't going to, I wasn't ready to like end him yet. Something else. Like there was something going on there. And, yeah, that just didn't happen. So Vader shows up to the Inquisitor base, and he's already mad that she let Obi-Wan get away. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me that scene where Vader is just across the field from some sort of inconvenient fire. It's not like a massive raging fire. It's just a little bit of fire. And a droid just lackadaisically picks up Obi-Wan, and they kind of make their way out. I was like, okay, I can wrap my brain around why that might be the case, like why he would let them leave. And now after seeing this latest episode, that's no longer justifiable if Vader is legitimately pissed off that no one stopped him. It's like, dude, you were right there. You could have stopped him. Like, this was very much in play for you. So, but I did like that Riva was finally getting like the third sister. I don't like that they're interchanging like her actual name with her Inquisitor name, because they don't do that for any of the other Inquisitors. But I do like that he shows up, he's out for blood immediately. It's just that scene makes the other scene make way less sense, is my whole thing. And Eddie, I see you saying here, something that made me annoyed is that Riva was going to torture a 10-year-old and everyone is cool about it. To be fair, it's the Empire. You know? Like, that's... I mean, bringing this back around to another section of the episode that I actually did enjoy was... It's going to sound very... it's going to sound very, like... macabre of me, but I really enjoyed the scene, like, where he walks in, he sees all of those dead Jedi, like, being frozen in what looks like sap or something, you know what I mean? But because I know that they in Rebels they use Luminara, I think they use Luminara to lure in wayward Jedi to like think like, okay, there's a live Jedi here, we're going to like go and check out what this whole thing is. But if the Inquisitor base has no shields and there's like no actual defense laid out for it, why would you be inviting that in? You know what I mean? I just find that to be bizarre. But I do like that that's a thing. And like there's like a couple like Jedi in there that like I sort of recognize, like one of them is from the High Republic. There's like the most brutal part is scattered throughout the Inquisitor's room, like their like main meeting quarters. They have all of these lightsabers and like the helmets of like dead Padawans, like their little training helmets. I'm like, super dark, like that you would like be super proud of that. Like, look, we killed all these kids. Isn't that fun? A little dark, but you know what? I'll let it slide. But having like the little kid frozen in carbonite, I'm like, that's the type of like dark stuff I really thought we would be getting from the show. Like, it feels like it's kind of sitting in between like being a Disney Plus show and being a show about technically genocide. You know what I mean? The Inquisitor lady called the Star Wars base racist. She did not say that. I will say this about that whole situation. Like, she was told that there's a section of the Star Wars base, or I wouldn't even say fans. Like, there's a whole section of like the Star Wars community that their whole personality is just hating Star Wars. Which you can be totally critical of something and be totally fine. But there was people who saw a trailer that had Riva in it, and they're like, oh, there's a black woman in the show. It's a political show now. That's just bullshit. That's so stupid. That's like such like a brain rot thing to think about the trailer of a show. Because we all got The Fallen Order, which had a woman of color as like the main antagonist for the entire piece. And nobody attacked that character because the video game market isn't necessarily the same as like the TV show market. And we all knew that Inquisitor was going to die in the end, and she died. So I think that Riva is just bizarrely written. She's written to like be clearly hated, but I just don't buy it. I just don't buy, like, she's just over the top mustache twirling. Like the whole you're getting ready to torture a kid. You're getting ready to torture a little kid. It's like you're doing everything you can to like make us like hate this character. And she's just getting away with a lot of shit. She's like stabbed the Grand Inquisitor, and I know that Vader has no love for the Inquisitors, but I do find it bizarre that he's like letting that shit slide. Because Vader is like not known for being a rational human being. So I just find it to be weird. Is I guess all I'm going to say. Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it. That's okay of a look. I'll change the face pattern. But but the whole, she did not call the whole fan base racist. She just said, I'm getting racist messages on Instagram, which is totally fair. Like, that's something that like nobody should have to deal with, like in general. Is it raining right now where you are? No, it's not. The ending was also stupid. So stupid. The guy sounded that had a death wish. So why didn't he kamikaze on Riva? I'm not too hung up on that part of it. But I mean, in Star Wars Republic fought to the end of slavery in the galaxy, but the Empire didn't care about slavery, and etc. Yeah, I mean, the Empire's like willing to, we'll let some of this like terrible shit slide. Like, well, they're not great people. It's basically like what the whole point of the the Empire is. It's like it's like a fascistic state, so it's like they're not really meant to be admired. I feel like I had a really good look going on with this Togruta. Now it's just too sad looking in the eyes there. We'll see if this will give me a name that I can actually use. Name chosen. Please choose another one. Okay. Oh my god. This is like the struggle with we're gonna say Recif the. That should be good enough, right? Boom, there we go. Good soldiers question orders. Yeah, that's a big fact. It's a big fact that good soldiers are obviously if you're being asked to do something that you know is like wrong. But the whole inhibitor chip thing really gave everyone an out that was writing the Clone Wars, because it became evident that people just liked the clones at that point. Like, they had made them likable characters. So like they had to give them like a reason to hate them, basically. To give people a reason to excuse like what they were doing and to still enjoy those characters, you know what I mean? But overall, this episode, it was cool to see Obi-Wan like doing his thing again. It was cool to see Obi-Wan actually using a lightsaber and being semi-competent with it. I'm just sort of confused by like his character arc here. We know that he's a sand rat. We know that he's like not necessarily he hasn't been like in practice, you know, all that other stuff. But he just straight up like got punked by Vader. Just got like his ass straight up kicked, which I'm willing to accept that. Like, I can understand that he was like in a state of shock. Like, he was in a state of like, oh my god, this guy's actually alive, and he's just a total monster. Like, he's just not one of the good homies, you know what I mean? God, I'm getting like 1,000 emails right now. Have you reviewed the... Yes, I've reviewed those cute. Jesus. But these are not the droids you're looking for, yeah. But it's a... I guess I just don't know what to think of the show at this point. And this is something that like I was talking about like in our Discord, was that I think a lot of these TV shows, they're made to like be viewed in completely like, you're supposed to binge watch them, essentially. I think that all these TV shows these days are written to be binge watched and not to be watched week to week. So maybe this will make more sense once the show's wrapped up. So just the power level like dynamic between Vader and Obi-Wan just feels a bit off. What Vader's actual goals are, why he didn't chase Obi-Wan, all that stuff just feels a little bizarre. It's just very bizarrely paced, is my whole thing. And I was really hoping that when they had mentioned Jabim, that we would get something that we had seen. This is like the thing that like really drives me nuts about Disney and like Disney canon in general, is that it's, why name drop something from Legends that is not only beloved, not only well known, but it's beloved. Like the Battle of Jabim, the Siege of Seleucus, all these things. These things are like loved in Star Wars Legends communities. So like when they showed Tython in Mandalorian Season 2, it's just a Hollywood backlot. They showed Jabim and it's just a cave system. And I find it bizarre that dude was like Ice Cube's son, by the way. That guy was played by Ice Cube's son. He tells Obi-Wan, oh, I'm not going to help you. My wife was a Jedi, yada, 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 all this stuff. And it's like within 10 seconds, he's completely changed his mind. He's willing to help. Just the pacing of the show is just not, it ain't it. It ain't it, is my whole summary of my feelings on the show, I guess. Yee Productions, this guy's chill. I'm happy to hear that, man. Thank you. I try. It might have something to do with the fact that I'm just in tremendous pain right now. But I think that if the show isn't wrapped up in a way that is at least exciting, then it's just going to add more fuel to people's fire. It's just going to make more people see. I told you that Disney was bad. I told you that it was bad. God, why am I getting so many dang emails right now? Let me see here. Oh, man. Someone's burned the midnight oil sending me 1,000 emails. It's almost 8 o'clock at night and someone's still working. Oh, boy. Dark greetings, everyone. How's the ankle, Brian? It's stiff as hell. I'm definitely feeling it. Like, I wish that I could show you guys like how swollen it was. But it ain't good. I posted a link to like what actually happened to my leg in the Discord. So if anyone's interested in like how Brian became so hurt. But fine, Porto wine and pain says bye. Yeah, that's why I'm just drinking a White Claw right now. But overall, the episode was just kind of boring. Like it wasn't that exciting. It didn't feel like there was that much like stakes to it. I could definitely tell like what they were going for, like kind of like a heisty type thing, but it didn't really feel that way to me. I guess it just didn't. It just didn't stick. Maybe I just wasn't watching it in the right mindset. Not gonna lie, I just started watching the Obi-Wan right, and I don't know what the girl's name in the Quitter is, but dang, she really wants Obi-Wan. That's the other thing is like I'm not sure what her motivation is for why she wants to kill Obi-Wan so badly. I'm assuming that we're going to get that answered in this season of the show, and if not, then what are we even doing? I heard it was apparently a rehash of the Fallen Order ending. Basically, kind of, in a way. I mean, it's the end of Fallen Order is at least super interesting because you're being actively chased by Vader. In this, it's just a couple of stormtroopers. I think I don't remember if it's a Death Trooper or not. I only watched it the one time, but it doesn't feel like there's that like as much stakes in this as there was in Fallen Order. So I don't know. Riva, fifth brother. That's the other thing is I thought the fifth brother was going to be way more involved in this, and he's like barely even here. But I think we can all agree that our dislike of that character isn't necessarily because she is a woman of color. It's just as the show has gone on, it hasn't been that interesting. But I'm hoping that we only have 2 more episodes. That's the whole thing. Is there's only 6 episodes to this, and it doesn't feel like there's like that much has happened. And what has happened hasn't been super interesting. I was a defender of like the first 3 episodes. I was like, we're going to get there. We're going to figure it out. Something is going to happen. And goddamn, that whole line where it's like, oh yeah, it's got no shields because who would be stupid enough to attack the Inquisitors? That's just such a small brain rot thing to think. That is like such convenient plot armor that Obi-Wan was able to sneak into like the Inquisitor's base. They have no shielding, and as somebody else pointed out, he came out of the water bone dry. he was in no way, shape, or form wet, which I find to be very bizarre. But I don't know. We only have 2 more episodes to wrap this up, and if we don't get like a prequel style choreographed confrontation, it's all my faith in humanity will be lost. I guess is like what we should get at here, because we get 3 movies, the sequel trilogy, which I don't love. I just don't like it that much. Episode 7 was awesome. Episode 8, not what I wanted for Luke. People want to say, oh, you're just mad because it's not the Star Wars that you wanted. It's not the Star Wars that you knew from Legends. All I wanted from episode 8 was for Luke to not be a failure. Going into that movie, that's what he was. Episode 9 is just like a hot mess of just everything they could possibly think of throwing at the wall to see what sticks. And so we had 3 movies of them being like borderline afraid to actually give us some prequel stuff. J.J. Abrams wanted to blow up Hat Abaddon. He wanted to blow up Coruscant in the first movie to be like, oh, look how cool I was. I got rid of Coruscant, the planet that... Because at the time, people forget that it was like pretty common for people to like hate on the prequels. That's just a fact. Like it was pretty common for people to feel that way about the prequels. So J.J. Abrams was like riding on that sentiment. And he's like, okay, I'm going to be able to blow up Coruscant. Everyone's going to cheer me. Everyone's going to throw their hats up like it's a graduation. And everyone's going to be so excited that I brought an end to the prequels. And so if this whole show goes on and we have no extreme, like no big force jumps, no giant choreographed battles, like nothing that's like harkening back to like that stuff that I guess my generation of people really enjoyed, then they have just completely blown it. There's like, I don't know what else to say to them. It's just, you've done that to yourself. Let me see here. Rey, as a man of color, she is meh on my book. What my boy Obi-Wan do to you, bro? I mean, how did he hurt you? My hope is that my belief is that she is aware that Anakin Skywalker was the one who attacked the Jedi Temple. Because if we don't get another flashback to Order 66, where Riva is one of those kids who's being attacked, who's at the Jedi Temple during Operation Nightfall, if we don't see her seeing Anakin Skywalker, it just will make no sense. Like how she knows who Anakin is and why she hates Obi-Wan so much. So my theory is that she saw Anakin, she blames Obi-Wan for what Anakin became, because like she mentioned several times to Leia in this episode, she's like, the Jedi are not like who you think they are. They're going to like abandon you. They don't actually care about you. So that's obviously like her projections of how she feels about the Jedi Order being like put onto Leia. So I'm assuming that she blames Obi-Wan for what happened to her because he trained Anakin. If that doesn't come to pass and we're like just trying to build up to a season 2 thing, I'm so sick of like that Marvel formula where it's like everything needs to be connected to everything. Everything has to be building into the next thing. Like I understand. I don't know. If you want awesome person of color representation on Disney Plus, watch Ms. Marvel. It is awesome. Lord of Edges, that's actually what I was just talking about, was going to watch Ms. Marvel and seeing like how much like I enjoyed that versus this last episode of Kenobi. It feels a lot bigger. It feels like a lot more grand, more artistic styling went into that show. And the Obi-Wan show so far has just felt like they figured out like that projection technology, like where they can like project all those things like under that giant room with all the LED screens or whatever that they use for the Mandalorian. And they've really just stuck to that formula where every single scene, every single thing that they build out has to be in front of those projections. And it's probably the cheapest way to do it. They have like a not a motion graphics, but like a 3D modeler build out the environments, and then they're able to just put them in those environments and do those things. And another thing to remember is that this was all shot during COVID. So I'm assuming that has influenced some of what the show has become, because I mean every show was affected by that essentially. So I don't know. I just don't want to give the show like a blanket pass just because I want it to be good. She's just a weak character. Riva, I still believe there's like time for her to become a good character, to like be something that is actually interesting. It's just not there right now is the problem. It's a bad idea to try and retrofit canon characters into legend roles. The example I use is Cara Dune being a member of Spec Ops for the Rebel Alliance and later the New Republic. It definitely has. You look at Mando Season 1 and it looks miles better. I don't know about the whole like retrofitting stuff into canon, because I mean even Legends like had its issues where, because it's constantly being built on continuity. Like it's not it's not like Marvel or DC, like where they're just like sort of connected, and like there's reboots of like the franchise over and over and over again throughout like the years. It just becomes like a compounding issue for Star Wars continuity, for people to be able to write stories that aren't going to directly conflict with other ones. So that's just like the nature of storytelling, and the fact that the Star Wars timeline is what it is. Yeah, but you look at Mando season 1 and it looks miles better. And like even Mando season 1, because that was like the first taste of like what a Star Wars TV show could be. So it's a whole thing where we were new to it. We were being introduced to it. So we were able to get, like, okay, most of these planets are like just one biome. We're just like in one place. Like they're maybe not like that populated. There's only so many like people they can have on set. Mandalorian season 1 was like before any restrictions were put in place. Like it was a whole different lifetime back when season 1 came out. But even that felt a little small, which I was like I was like willing to forgive, because like a bounty hunter story doesn't need to be like super large in scale. But again, it's come back around to that. Use the ending of Obi-Wan correlates to the beginning of when the children ran to the temple. And, oh, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing here. Obi-Wan didn't come to save her, and that's the key to that ending. I mean, I think that's like definitely a part of it, but like, if memory serves, like Obi-Wan and Yoda did not come to the Jedi Temple during Operation Nightfall until after it was over. Like most of the Jedi were already killed, and they showed up, and there was clones wearing Jedi robes to try and like trick people, you know. Compared to the hole that the Emperor Palpatine was thrown into being made of poles, I mean, I did not understand. I'm sorry, Ben. I did not understand a single theme of that sentence, but yeah, I don't know. They just have like a lot of things to like clear up, and then we have 2 episodes left. It's all we got, just 2 episodes. So I'm hoping. Here's hoping, man. Here's hoping. I was joking, but you're not wrong. Yeah, my assumption is that I've heard rumors there's going to be a season 2 of Obi-Wan, and I don't think I need it. I just don't think that I needed it. I think that this could have been like a small story, which I think that it does like do a good job of like kind of clearing up because in episode 4 I felt like it was kind of implied in A New Hope. I mean, it was kind of implied that Leia knew who Obi-Wan Kenobi was. So obviously this is like her meeting Obi-Wan. That makes sense. Bada bing, bada boom. Bob's your uncle, you know what I mean? So I can wrap my brain around that. But I just don't think that I need another Obi-Wan story. I think that he can just stay on Tatooine. He can go back. This was like a one and done thing. And he's going back to Tatooine. He's just going to look over the boy. That's all there is to it. I don't think that I need anything else in this story. Throw all this shiz away. The Death Star hole, the room, but yeah, I'm just confused by that compared to the hole that Emperor Palpatine was thrown in being made of poles. I don't know what you mean by the made of poles part, but I do find it funny that the Empire's whole aesthetic is that they have no railings for any gantries at all. It's all just it's whatever you want, you know. There's no health and human safety. Sorry, guys, just responding to a little bit of emails here. Okay. And I'm back. When people ask what I think of Per, a basement boy trapped in a basement world, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. if the TV show is bad as of now, it will not get better. I mean, that's probably not a fair assessment because there's a lot of shows that are just like kind of meandering. But again, this goes back to the fact that we only have 3 episodes of this. So we only have 3 more episodes of this left. Where do we go from here? Like, what's going to be... I don't know, dude. In the films, the Cabers will actually polls. I remember a Star Wars Tales story addressing the lack of guardrails, and it made me laugh. I mean, it's just the Empire. They just don't give a shit. They're like, we'll let any of our workers die. Who cares? We're the Empire. What are they going to do? Sue us? We control the courts. Sorry, guys. Just getting all my stuff set up here. Brand new character. You know how to do it to him. What the show teaches, not everything that shines is gold. Eddie, I don't know why you're being so philosophical tonight, but I love it. But I mean, I have some faith that it's going to be able to be brought back around. But if it's definitely not brought back around and it's just like pure punishment from here on out, nobody make a compilation out of this where you can just see me like descending into madness as like the show just gets worse and worse. That's my whole thing. But there's just been a distinct lack of lightsaber combat. And that's another thing that's like really been driving me nuts is that's like all I want. Just like give me what I want. Just let me see 2 lightsabers hit one another and something cool was happening on screen. I don't know. It's like the whole rule of cool. There's got to be something cool about these characters. And like she's not even like fought anybody enough for me to like see her as a viable threat. You know, it's just like there's not like enough of a. She stabbed the Grand Inquisitor, and if he's actually dead, then Star Wars continuity just makes no sense. There's like no point in even trying to follow it. But it's she just hasn't done enough to like be that impactful with me, I guess. Am I the only one who envisions the Jedi consular as a female because the male's voice is bad? The male's voice does sound a little bit bizarre. Like he's like, I am talking like this. Like he almost talks like he's a robot. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I envision honestly the worst voice in this entire game is the female bounty hunter. I tried making a female bounty hunter in this game. Dear God, I don't know who allowed that to go through, but it is bad. It is bad. It's no good. I'm actually going to hop into another character really quick and mail myself some stuff. I feel like blue lightsabers aren't working for this character. I feel like it's not working. I'll do that for sure. Eddie, you better not, you son of a bitch. But I'm hoping that episode 6 is... Because, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I remember seeing like articles and stuff like that where people were saying, oh, the ending of there's going to be a lightsaber duel that's going to like rival any other lightsaber duel that we've had. If Obi-Wan's like starting to get like his beak a little wet, he's starting to like get up there, get in the mix, and he's actually going to like be able to fight Vader, I want to see that. If we just go right back to like just 2 people chopping wood, fucking kill me. Just kill me. Put me out of my misery. It doesn't even matter. What does matter, Zim? Gotta be clear with your thoughts, buddy. What am I doing here? I need to find a workbench. So I'm gonna actually hop out of this character, and I'm going to mail myself some money. All future content is about Barb's basement. All of my future content is about Barb's basement. It's like you're the guy that just makes stream clips of somebody else's stream, and that's how you make all your money. Mail myself some money here. But yeah, Zim, what doesn't matter? You just mean like the canon, the lore in general? Because I can kind of agree with that to a certain extent. In the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Obi-Wan looked and was better. In the Clone Wars show, well, I mean, yeah, it's animated, so it's like easy for them to make that a more interesting character. Oh yeah, my cult leader over here. Let's see here. I'm also going to go to the Republic fleet to try and buy some dyes for my character. But yeah, I mean, like the animated shows, they've been pretty good so far. They've been pretty solid. I mean, Bad Batch was not necessarily my cup of tea because I just don't give that much of a shit about clones overall. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I came too far, but you fought so hard. I'm we're getting a lot of Star Wars content here over the next like year and a half. But if it's all just kind of like medium, like it is now, why am I going to get that invested in it? I don't know. Maybe a part of the reason why I'm feeling so like negative is because it's just been like such a rough week. Got a blown out ankle. Haven't been sleeping very much. You know, the whole thing. How dare you hate the heckin' clonerinos? It's not that I hate them. It's just that I just don't care about it. Like that's never been like an area of Star Wars I've been like that interested in, I guess. I need to find like a good die. Good die for that character. It's all just cosplay at this point. Here, I'm going to preview my character like this. I'm tired of I'm tired of clones too, man. I just want to get away from that time period in general. Like I want to get that's the other thing. Like the whole Tales of the Jedi thing. It's you manage to take the naming convention of a story that people loved and make it just sort of lame by just setting it back in the goddamn Clone Wars again. And I got mad about this last time, but it's like just please, for me, I don't need any more Ahsoka. I just don't. I just don't need any more Ahsoka. She's already going to be in all of the things. She's already going to be in all the stuff. So can we not just like maybe focus on somebody else at this point? Clone Commando boys equal clonerinos. I don't know, man. I'm not from that time period where like TCW is not that important to me in general. So I'm probably not the best person to speak on clones. Like it's something that like, I'm like, okay, cool. It's cool that the clones exist, but it's just not, they're not really my thing. I just don't really care about them that much. Let's see how gross that. Oh, that's so gross. That's a hard pass from me. Maybe we'll just stick with like the white robes, but I do need to like email myself some stuff. The problem is all the 17-year-old TikTok girls absolutely fawn over Ahsoka. There was no end. I mean, to be fair to 17-year-old TikTok girls, it's cool that they have like a character they can really enjoy. I mean, who am I? You know, who am I to judge if some 17-year-old girl gets a lot of enjoyment out of Ahsoka Tano? Who am I to be a party pooper? You know what I mean? Oh, whoops. Okay, send myself some cash here. Check your bank account, baby girl. Well, it's TikTok. The lack of brain is a requirement. I completely forgot about our TikTok altogether. And I was opening it up just to be like, oh, I wonder, when's the last video that we uploaded? And brought it up, opened it up, and my boy Star Wars Transmissions just blew up. He's at like 7,000 like followers over there. But TikTok's pretty fucking lame. TikTok's it's just lazy content, and no, like that's the reason why everyone just like kind of like shits out content for TikTok is because Star Wars Transmission doesn't do this. Like he actually works very hard in his content, but the pay for like being a TikTok creator is just not there. So it's like, why would anyone actually focus on that? Barb is on TikTok, so Zim is right. Hey, come on now. Now we're just like repurposing stuff that we're already like, we're not making like TikTok specific stuff, I guess is like how I should phrase it. Like we're not working on making like, you know, viral videos or whatever. And I will say this about TikTok. You know what? I'm a sex positive guy. Whatever you're into, you can like. Whatever thing that's your thing, by all means, you be into it. But it must be impossible to be a Gen Z kid and to not develop some sort of like body dysmorphia from TikTok and Instagram. Granted, my generation, we were heavily on Instagram, but goddamn, I just don't know how some Gen Z kids are supposed to like function as like regular adults after like, because like when I started a TikTok, I did it on my computer, so that way it was like a fresh thing, private browser. There was absolutely nothing that would influence the creation of our TikTok account. There would be no reason why. You have to be level 10 to use this. God damn it. There was like nothing to like, no algorithm was set in place. All of the default stuff is women who clearly have like just really good genetics and like they're working out a shit ton and like they're making people think this is an attainable body for everybody. Everybody should be doing this. And then dudes who have like 3% body fat who are clearly on drugs to like look like they pretend to be natural. So anybody who's like an adult can rationalize that these are not real people. Like real people do not look like this. But that's all I'll say about TikTok is it just seems like it would cause mental health issues. YouTube more money and TikTok is like get a lot of people to your YouTube channel. I wouldn't know, man. We're barely focused on TikTok at this point. At least with Ahsoka, there might be some urgency with her character, like Kenobi or Princess Leia can't die. That's true. It's possible all you gotta do is just be on there too much and not watch the CW. Imagine Brian doing a TikTok dance. Dude, I would probably walk into a wood chipper before I ever do that. At least they could give you some edge of to the character. I mean, Ahsoka Tano, she is like an interesting character. I'll say that. I mean, like, it's just that I don't need to see her in literally every fucking show or movie or whatever. And like, I know where the show, like where they're like basing their whole programming around Ahsoka Tano, which maybe they got a metric that I don't. Maybe that character is a giant moneymaker for them, which she probably is. And they're making that decision based off how much money they're going to make. And I see people say like the whole, well, Disney only cares about money thing a lot. Of course they do. They're a business. Like they're a giant multi-billion-dollar corporation. All they care about is making more money. That's just how it be. The original trilogy would have been way better if it was if there wasn't an Ahsoka. True. If Ahsoka was able to show up right after Luke redeems Darth Vader and she gives Luke a knowing head nod, that would have made it way better. I mean, I will say it was cool to see Luke and Ahsoka interact, but I really hate the Luke and Anakin Skywalker, Luke and Ahsoka like shipping that happens on the internet. It feels gross. It just feels weird that people would want that. Because Ahsoka she's like 20 years older than Luke. Not to say there's anything wrong with dating somebody who's older than you, but I just find it weird. I find it like a weird thing to want. But we had put out a thing in our community tab where I was asking what people's what their thoughts were on the show. And most people, here, I'll look at it right now. Actually, we'll bring this up. Go to our community tab. Let's see here. Lego. Not a lot made sense to me. I just think there wasn't a lot of time to develop any characters or stakes. I found it a little out of place for the Fortress and the Inquisitors to be lightly guarded, and Vader lost a lot of his intimidation for me. All that makes sense. Vader being angry in that episode gave me chills. Another good take. Why was Obi-Wan dry when he entered the fortress? Small inconsistencies like that ruin it for me. That makes, I could totally see how that would upset somebody. Because, I mean, it just doesn't make no sense that, like, he came out and he was bone dry right afterwards. But, I don't know. I don't mean to harp on the show too much and make it sound like I just, like, absolutely hate it. Because I really enjoyed episode 1 and 2. 3 was pretty good. I was just hoping the context of 3, it'd be, like, recontextualized, like, where it made sense for Vader to, like, not go after Obi-Wan. If they're like doing like a whole thing where it's like he's afraid of fire now because reasons, because he was burnt up in lava. I mean, the guy chose Mustafar as like his home base, so that would not make sense for him to be afraid of fire. Man, you guys let me know if I'm being too negative. Like, am I just like being too over the top? Am I being too much of like a fanboy here who's like expecting Star Wars to be tailored to me? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just hoping that it gets better. There's all the shows that like I was excited for to come on Disney Plus. Book of Boba Fett was just like an absolute like swing and a miss for me. I just thought that it was pretty crap wall to wall. Did not enjoy a lot about it. So I feel like they really needed to nail Obi-Wan. And I can't say that they did. At least so far. So it doesn't give me much faith for like other Disney Plus Star Wars properties, because why would it? I mean, Book of Boba Fett was pretty trash. I actually wasn't even that like enthralled by Mandalorian season 2. I feel like everyone's all hung up on the Luke appearance, which was cool, obviously, but like the rest of the show around it like was not that awesome. War Dog, there's a lot of problems. I enjoy some scenes though. I mean, I think that's the most you can sum up for the Obi-Wan show so far. Is I think that I don't even feel like Obi-Wan's like that involved. Like I feel like his PTSD was really conveyed in the first like couple episodes, which is nice. Obviously, like he's been through a lot of shit. So I want to see, like, it would be unrealistic if Obi-Wan was just mostly unaffected by it. But I just want to see more prequel flashbacks. I want to see more Force shit is my whole thing. Just give me all the Force stuff. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for Force stuff. That's the whole reason why I like Star Wars in the first place. Like, as I said, like I don't love clones. That's because I just love wizard shit. That's the problem in a show. You hate some scenes and other one. What? Eddie, your Portuguese is starting to show. That's a problem in a show. You hate some scenes, not the other way around. My brain's trying to comprehend that. I'm running off of like 3 hours of sleep, so I'm thinking that makes sense in my brain. But yeah, Mandalorian 2 was watchable. At least every episode was entertaining. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's fair. That like whole time period is such a fever dream for me, because that's like when me and my wife had like really, really terrible COVID. This was like original recipe bone-in COVID. So I was like super crazy sick when the Ahsoka episode came out, like where she first shows up. I remember being excited about it, but it's just like kind of clouded in that uncertainty of having COVID, and like it really messed us up a lot. He uses a force power this episode. It's called plot armor. That's true. That's another thing that I didn't bring up, was like, it's just like the whole scene, like where he's trying to walk out with Leia underneath his trench coat. I was in bed with my wife when I was watching, and I said to her, this feels like 3 raccoons stuffed into like a trench coat trying to sneak into an R-rated movie. It's just like ridiculous that no one would notice that. And that's one of the things that I mean about like just some of like the editing conventions are so weird. Man, that was a while ago. It was Thanksgiving in 2020. Yeah. Thanksgiving Day. So to give like a little bit of a backstory here, like this is not going to be like a whole ramble on anything pandemic related. But my wife texted me and she's like, hey, I feel a little bit weird, so I'm going to come home from work early. And I was like, okay, awesome. So she comes home and I can tell something's off. So we go to like one of the state testing sites. She gets tested. Days go by. She comes back positive, and that's like when she's already started to feel very sick at that point. And it was bad. It was like very, very touch and go. Like we were in and out of the ER a lot. She had lots of breathing issues. She was fainting constantly. It was bad. It was a scary time. So maybe some of my like memory of Mandalorian season 2 is like kind of wrapped around like that experience, because I feel like we've been getting really deep in these last couple of live streams, but there was a point in time there where I was literally just staying awake and looking at my wife to make sure she was still breathing. Like that's like how bad her breathing issues got. And so I was watching the Ahsoka episode while like turning back around to look at my bed to make sure like my wife was okay. First husband in history to be happy that his wife is home. Dude, I love my wife. My wife is awesome. My wife is the shit. I find it weird. Like, I used to work at like some corporate kind of jobs, you know, like where the dudes would be like, we're going to go like on a corporate trip to Vegas. And it's like, oh, the old ball and chain. I'm like, okay, if you hated this person, why'd you get married to him? Why'd you put your penis in him? Why'd you get him pregnant? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so easy for like dudes to like complain about their wives. It's like, dude, like you made the choice to marry her, you know? And I married my wife because I like her. she's fun to be around. She's funny. She had a really, really funny take about episode 3 where Riva just ends up at the end of the hallway. She's just like, how in the hell did that happen? How did like Riva like get to the end of this hall, like this tunnel system before Leia was able to? Yeah, but it's a real classic situation where it's like if I was just like myself existing in the world without my wife, it would be a much harder go for me. I would just have like a mattress laying on the floor and one TV sitting on the floor as well. Yeah, but just that was like not a good time. Thanksgiving 2020. Had Chinese food for Thanksgiving. Couldn't taste any of it. It was could not taste shit. What up, guys? I have to sleep in like 5 minutes, but wanted to drop by and say may the force be with you and with your spirit. Now I want to marry her too. Hey man, you can't. We're legally married. And we're from the US. And you are in Portugal. So, but yeah, I just find it weird that like people marry people they don't like. But yeah, I got to experience all of season 2 of The Mandalorian at home. No sense of taste or smell. I should actually I think I probably still have like that video. I just like was like biting into a lemon and I bit into an onion, bit into a raw piece of garlic. Couldn't taste shit. And I was telling Matt this, Matu, for some reason COVID made me go bald. Like, you see all this hair right here, all this hair, which is like not kept, but I had like a giant bald spot on the back of my head, and it was just from the virus just like fucked up my body so bad. My body just stopped growing hair. Had a lot of practice and shit tonight, but we're gonna have so much shit chooching soon. Well, I mean, arranged marriages exist. Okay, now look, that you're going in the opposite direction there. Not too tomorrow. I need that thing. But yeah, I mean, I've heard great success stories with arranged marriages. Sometimes it works out. I must sleep now. Kill the Bith. Don't let him live. I'm a Jedi this go around, so I gotta let him live. But I guess what I'm getting at is like Mandalorian season 2 was just difficult for me to enjoy because there was just too much other shit going on around it. You know what I mean? God, this just seems like a whole different life. Fellas, a cheers to everybody just for making it out of these last like 3 years sane. You can be a dark Jedi. I mean, that could be. It just doesn't feel right being a Jedi because the Jedi Guardian's like meant to be played as a light side character. I'm on it, Lord Edu. God, I'm hoping this isn't a song. Don't leave us, Maru. Machu, I'm guessing you mean. We got plenty of songs apparently in the works for Barb's Basement. Let me see here. Just reviewing some of these dang emails I got. As a Sith Lord, I feel obligated to tell the dark side comes with healthcare. I guess. I suppose. I feel like I just got an email that like just went missing for some reason. I must, Eddie. I have to be up in 7 hours. Dude, just quit your job. Problem solved. Problem solved. Let me see here. And Eddie, by the way, I don't think that we're going to be getting to. Don't think we're going to be getting to 20,000 tonight, but we got another video coming out tomorrow, so I think we're going to be hitting 20K then. Sleepers for Jedi, that is true. Seriously though, how many Sith lords are kept alive by awesome healthcare? That's true. They got Bacta tanks for days. Malgus, Vader, Crate. To be fair, I don't think that. I feel like Crate didn't have very good health insurance. Most of his story was just him trying to stay alive, for the majority of it. But for any of the folks that are here in the live chat, I will say, once we hit 20K, I am going to be unleashing my the Patreon for the basement into all your guys' brains. Do not feel a need to support it at all. Don't feel the need to. We don't need the money. It's just going to be nice if we can like focus more on Barb's basement, potentially make it our jobs, that kind of stuff. We have like a tier that's mostly just like chucking a buck. Whatever you got, just chucking a buck and we can go from there. But we want to have some like loyalty perks. So like the longer you stay subscribed on Patreon, you'll get stickers, a mug, t-shirts, long sleeve shirt, tote bag, like that kind of stuff. Darth Matthew, that's because you're on TRICARE. That's true. That's one of the better health insurance plans you can have. General, I need to find quick travel here. There we go. Boom. But yeah, we'll see what next Wednesday brings. Also, I feel like Wednesday, it's like a weird release date. It's like a weird release time for the Obi-Wan show. Because I feel like everything else has come out like on Fridays, right? Damn, you discovered where I got my artificial jaw. I just want a Stormy shirt. Hey, man, look, you could possibly get it here soon. Because I believe that Patreon like operates all of their stuff internally for like merchandise. So it's pretty straightforward. So you should be able to get a Stormy shirt sometime soon. For those who don't know who Stormy is, he's our resident problematic Endor vet. Master Satil Shan. I sleep now. Stay angry, basement dwellers. May the Force break your chains. We'll do our best, man. I feel like the Force has just broken most of my bones at this point. Yeah, I'm actually going to unmute my desktop audio so that way you guys can actually hear the game now. That way you've like gotten through the majority portion of the Obi-Wan stuff. But I found like the whole little convention where it's like, oh, they've got Jedi bodies. And also it just feels very morbid. Like overall, that they just have like a bunch of like dead Jedi hanging out in their hallways. Because like I don't care how into the dark side you are. You were a Jedi at one point. I mean, I would be weirded out like if I was like a war veteran and we just had a bunch of like human bodies on display. Like, hey, here are the people that we killed. You know what I mean? The lightsabers I get. That's some cool shit.
Welcome, Padawan. The temple is already buzzing with accounts of your heroism in the training grounds.
Brian, any plans for opening a Redbubble shop for merch? Yeah, so kind of like what we were thinking was, well, I guess what I was thinking, because Zach and I have like, we've both just been like weirdly busy in different times of the week. I was out of town last week. He was out of town over the weekend. So, God, it feels like I haven't even seen him in like years at this point. But sort of like what my plan was is that we'll have like the loyalty program for Patreon, and that'll have like timed exclusive merchandise. So we'll have like the Bars Basement logo on stuff. We'll have some Stormy shit. Well, Lord of Edge, by the way, we got some shit coming up that's like specifically tailored to you. We wanted to like always be like not inside jokes, but like basement lore stuff. So Lord of Edge, Zim, Skooma Joe, Eddie's Cantina, like all of this. Like, we want to like kind of pay homage to like the people who got us here.
Emotions like fear and anger.
So we'll do like timed exclusives, and then after like they've been out of stock for, let's say, 3 months, we'll then release them on like we're looking into like what will be more.
Remember those words when
If Redbubble would be better than just getting like individual merch made for the boys shirt. Yeah, I'm working on a design for that like as we speak.
I'll see you soon.
I'm wondering if I shouldn't do just like a base, like the Barb's Basement like image, you know, like with Stormy and shit like that in the background, or if I should just do like the Barb's Basement like old school font that, you know, that we have for like our YouTube header, and it's just like the font, the stripes, like the VHS old school look, and then it says in the thing for the boys instead of Barb's Basement. Either that or it would say Basement Boys. Like there's gonna be 3 tiers. That is, I think it's Basement Dweller, Basement Captive, Basement Boys is how we have it set up. So yeah, we're gonna see how it unfolds, but we definitely want to like continue building a community and not having it just be people who like come in and like watch our shorts or watch our long form content or whatever. We want to like make it, everyone is going to end up being a part of like the basement lore at some point. As long as people are in the chat acting like, yo, epic. Lord Veg, I was working on yours not that long ago, I feel. I definitely just want to integrate any like weird chat lore that we have. God damn, I'm sweating down here.
I searched the temple archives. This Force user leading the Flesh Raiders never received Jedi training.
Then the Sith have found us. Shouldn't we get ready for them?
Calm yourself, Padawan. We can't be certain of anything yet.
But we've all sensed a growing
old Barb's Basement logo shirt. Should I do that? Should I like make like the old school the old Barb's Basement logo? Holy shit. For anyone who doesn't know, that logo, Zach and myself, my wife, and like a couple of our friends were having like a D&D group or whatever. And this was like right when we first got the idea for Barb's Basement stuff. We were trying to come up with, like, I was like, okay, we do a Star Wars YouTube channel. What would we call it? And we were kind of like coming up with some different names. Eventually, I just said like, oh, how about like Barb's Basement? Because Zach and I used to hang out in his mom's basement all the time. And that's like where it was born from. And in that session, after like we got done playing D&D, we had a couple drinks in us. I just broke out my laptop because like I had all my work shit with me, and I just cracked out a logo like while we were all sitting there. And that's where that old Barb's Basement logo came from. Was like about 30 minutes of tinkering in Adobe Illustrator.
Fergus, you haven't taken a Padawan since Coruscant.
I'll look and see if I can't find it really quick.
Stronger than I've seen in decades.
Bring my Google Drive.
Think of no finer master to complete this Padawan
Barb's Basement. Let's see here. Maybe it's in assets? No, I'm not seeing it in there. Oh shit, here's like what that might be a little bit hard to see on stream, but that was like kind of the look of it. That's like an animated thing. But yeah, it was a pretty gross font. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty ugly all around. It was I can't believe that someone let me get away with that. Even YouTube success stories start with drinking in a run to an AA meeting. True. But yeah, I'll screenshot that logo and I'll put it in the Discord so you guys can see our humble beginnings.
You'll find supplies in my chambers downstairs. Go equip yourself. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, it was very, very early humble beginnings. And like, to be honest, I don't know that Zach was like super into the idea because he was kind of like camera and microphone shy. But as we went on, like he really picked it up. He really understood, you know, what to do from there. It clicked with him right away. And yeah, we really enjoy doing this shit. And I don't mean to be solo energy this time, but look, I got the shit knocked out of me when skateboarding. So next song, put the logo as the thumbnail. Oh yeah, like Eddie, you weren't even around for like back when I used to was making like solo content. So like during like the height of lockdowns and shit, we weren't going anywhere. We weren't doing anything. So that's like when like I started to actually like take YouTube kind of seriously to a certain extent. And I was working on like full length like comic book breakdowns. But Barb's Basement had a theme song. Like we had a song that we had, again, in that first initial meeting, we were like flipping through some music websites and we're like, okay, like what would fit as like the Barb's Basement theme song? And it's going to play as the stream outro tonight. It's fucking excellent song. It gets stuck in my head a lot. I think that it's, frankly, it's the best theme song for any Star Wars based podcast and or TV shows. But as we always talk about, this stuff always comes back around to weightlifting. Despite my fucked ankle, I still got in a pretty decent back workout yesterday. I just had to sit down for the majority of it, which was a little bit inconvenient, but we got there. Everything before April is not my time. That's most people in Barb's Basement, because we got the majority of our subscriber base like post-April.
Ran out of things to say.
I'd rather do something about problems than discuss them.
Still, there are times when talking is exactly what's needed. This situation has come to you fast. You're braving dangers many Jedi never face.
But eventually I also want to like make hats, hoodies, all that stuff. So like these sci-fi fantasy hoodies, I really like the stitching in them. So I want to find like a seamstress of some kind to make like super limited pieces.
I know people who can help. There's
9K in May alone. Yeah, dude, May was a crazy month. May was crazy. Like apparently June and September are kind of like dead. They're apparently those like the months like where people are actually like doing shit. You know what I mean? It's like where people like are outside doing things. Like they're either doing that, or they're doing summer sports, or they're going back to school. So apparently those are kind of like dead months. But we haven't noticed it to be that dead. Back in my day, the Discord wasn't nothing but a barren wasteland. There was a hot minute there, like where I just like, I mean, during like lockdowns and stuff, just like, goddamn, what a year. I saw it on Social Blade. Social Blade is not always 100% accurate. Like as somebody who has access to like the back end of stuff, obviously. If you listen to Social Blade, we made like $20,000 like in the span of 3 months, which could not be further from like reality.
I'll join you soon. May the Force be with you.
But yeah, we had a ton of growth very quickly, so I can't complain. I'm hoping we hit like 100K from like April to April. It's like in a year. I'm hoping that we hit 100K. Eddie, we do need to like do some Discord shit because like I want to do some stuff to like get people more engaged and like have them doing some stuff. And I want to like find a way to like implement Patreon stuff like into the Discord. Lord of the Edge, you like a Discord desert, join mine. Eddie, I feel like you're going to get there one day, buddy. For sure. But I want to like incorporate some Patreon shit into the way like the Discord operates, I guess. And I mean you guys are loyal chatters. I could like just like read off like what we have. You guys let me know what you think, because this is all just like me making up shit like as I was going along. Let me see here. Oh wait, I think it's over here on this thing. Let me see. Log into my work computer here. Bada bing, bada boom. No, that's not it. There we go. I text this to myself. Just like a real loose stream tonight. Drop me an invite and I'll join. I'll send a link after stream. God, you guys are just supporting one another. Okay. So we got 3 tiers here. We got Basement Dweller. We haven't decided on the price for any of these things yet. For Barb supporters who just want to help keep the lights on. At this tier, you'll be able to hop into one of the live streams and ask us questions about anything fandom related, maybe even some life advice. So if anyone needs any advice on like how to file your taxes, we're your guy. Level 2 is Basement Captive. All the same perks as tier 1. You'll be able to hop into a monthly AMA with us. I don't know if people would actually want that or not, but whatever. You'll be shouted out in every single live stream from Basement Broadcast. So we'll like put like we'll shout people out at the beginning of live streams, at the end of live streams, yada yada. You're like an executive producer. You get it. Then the final one is Basement Boys with a Z at the end. All the same perks as tier 1 and 2. You'll be able to stop in for AMAs, yada yada. You'll be shouted out in every live stream. Received limited edition merchandise, i.e. stickers, shirts, coffee cups. Just the idea of tier 1, $1, tier 2, $2, tier 3, $3. So the way that Patreon works with like merchandise and stuff like that is that you have to like be making like they have to justify like that cost on their end. So let's say that you want like I just want to get some like random Barb's Basement shit like throughout like the year. You would have to be at that $20 a month mark. And that's not something that we choose. It's something that like Patreon wants because like they're producing that stuff for us. So like that's like their utilities are producing those items. So they're like it needs to be at least $20 or above. But we're not dead set on that. We're like I'm still like flushing out all of the various things. You know, you guys know how it goes. But my goal is to make that go live at 20K. If people subscribe to it, they subscribe to it. If they don't, they don't. We don't expect it to be like a huge thing. It's just something we want to do to like actively like engage
Greetings, Matriarch.
our folks better with.
Has sent me to help
5,
out
7,
with
10.
Flash
7 feels like an odd number to me. It just feels the odd number of it is like breaking my brain.
Nothing to do with the attack on your training grounds, I'm sure.
I was thinking tier 1 could be chucking $1. Tier 2 would be $5. Tier 3 would be $20. Was what I was thinking.
We didn't realize how great a threat the Flesh Raiders had become.
Oh man.
And now you seek help from the people you once ignored. My scouts have tracked the flesh.
3.5, 8.42,
Watched them grow in size.
11.21.
I will share
Jesus
what
Christ,
we've
man.
discovered, but only if
I don't even know if they let you set it like into denominations like that.
we suffer.
Mother, you need rest. Let me carry this burden for you.
Americans at least use sense. I mean, we can use sense, but it's not really a point to it for this exact scenario.
With all due respect, time is a factor. I need that
I don't like that my gloves are clipping through my
This is
sleeves.
daughter, Rana Dalven. She and Scout Chief Morint here will speak for me. I must attend to other matters.
Personally, I don't care why you've come. As long as you
I probably wouldn't join. Don't feel the need to, man. It's not something you would. It's 100% not necessary for barrier to entry. Just watching our shit is enough support for us.
removing that technology.
It's mostly just an excuse for me to have a way to produce merchandise for people, basically.
They blow up in their ugly faces.
How would we do that?
And then I wouldn't have to pay for my own goddamn Marvel Unlimited subscription. Greetings, Exalted One. Are we discussing why the SJWs are ruining Star Wars /S? RN Jesus, I feel like I saw you in Deep Core, kind of
We brought that technology
mixing it
here.
up in there a little bit.
Defend ourselves with those weapons.
But yeah, as we all know, black character in Star Wars, political. We all know Star Wars is only allowed to have 2 people of color in it.
This
That
village is
being
vulnerable to attack.
Mace Windu
Better defend
and Lando
ourselves.
Calrissian.
This debate is pointless.
And John Boyega.
Inside that cave, You'll need one of the leader's access keys.
But no, we're not.
Technology and do what you think is best.
I was more or less just complaining about the flow of the show overall. I think that whenever it's like done, I just think that most writers these days are just focusing on binge content. Just make something that can be watched in one evening, because it's like Christopher Nolan did like a whole interview where he was talking about how streaming content, it's TV shows and movies, they're no longer like cinematic experiences anymore. You're just experiencing content that's happening at you that you don't sit and think about for longer than it takes for you to watch it. Like, goddamn, we watched all the Umbrella Academy in 2 sittings. We watched it when the first season came out, second season came out. We watched all that stuff. And I have literally not thought about that show for a millisecond since it finished. So that's like I think that's a good gauge. Same thing with Book of Boba Fett. Like, obviously I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I have Star Wars channel, tons of Star Wars shit behind me over here. Have not thought about that show for a millisecond since it ended. George Lucas is launching a crusade. Hold on a second here. George Lucas is launching a crusade coming to kill Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, that's goddamn. We were talking about YouTube grifters before, and that's definitely a classic grifter move. Y'all wait to see anything critical until the finale. That's when we know how it truly is. Until then, my opinions is just it's okay, I guess. I agree with that same sentimentality. Totally accurate there. I'm at least gonna wait for the show to be done before I say it's like a total shit show. Stranger Things is pretty good, I'd say, especially the new season. I agree with you there. Like, me and my wife are watching the latest season, and I was not a huge fan of season 3. At the time, like when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is just like the most 80s thing they could have possibly done. Outside of like bringing out a clone of Ronald Reagan to like jerk off or something like that. It was just like the most 80s shit just being thrown at you. But we went back and rewatched like the last half of it to get like re-affiliated with the show before we watched season 4. I actually didn't even want to watch season 4. I was like, I just don't really give a shit about it anymore. Rewatching season 3, I actually liked it more than I remember liking it the first time. Like, it was a lot more enjoyable that second go around. Yo, Brian, this weekend I have time. So Saturday, all day Saturday, I'm going to be totally booked. I will have no time to do anything on Saturday. Sunday, I should be free to do something. But yeah, the latest season of Stranger Things, I feel like it's dark as shit. It's like real brutal. Some like really terrible things are happening in that show. Real terrible things. Like some very like dark shit. Like body horror stuff happening to like teenagers that like I was not emotionally prepared for. But that's my plug for Stranger Things season 4. But yeah, I have definitely thought about making I did make like a parody grifter kind of like YouTube-y style video when I was like first testing out like our audio equipment here, and I ended up not doing anything with it because I was like, oh god, I don't want someone to like watch this and think that I'm like being serious, and then to like actually attract people who like feel those way about things. Okay, let's see here. Yep, you always gotta jump before you do a force leap. It's a double jump every time. But yeah, Eddie, I should have free time on Sunday. We can kind of focus on it then. Discord definitely needs some love, for sure. I wanted to like have like roles for people. I really want to implement like a question of the day type thing, just some like EU shit. And that's like another thing that we're going to be focusing on going forward for the channel in general. Is we're going to be doing more Legends stuff. Like I just like was reading through that the Star Wars comic. I don't know if any of you guys like got a chance to watch our most recent video on just like how different the rough drafts, like the first drafts of the Star Wars were. It's fucking buck wild. Like it would have been. It's so Flash Gordon-esque in like those first like rough drafts. It's way more like serial pulp type stuff than it was. Not pulp, like not like Pulp Fiction, but like a serialized TV show, like where you're just hopping in at a random time to watch something. And Luke is very much like a stand-in for George Lucas, the man. Like he looks almost identical to Luke Skywalker in that. That video did pretty well on TikTok, actually. A lot of people seem to enjoy that. Yep. Goddamn, I am burning up down here though. Hot as hell. I'm not gonna do any of these bonus missions. I'm just gonna like run straight in. Keep my eye on the prize. Brum, 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 brum. I think I'm supposed to be getting like my first lightsaber here soon, but I always just cheat and get a lightsaber right away. Because why not? Who's gonna stop me? The cops? Oh God. I'm gonna pop this hoodie off really fast. Oh, I didn't realize what shirt I was wearing underneath of this. It's such a idiotic sweatshirt or shirt. Who needs tits with an ass like this? Such a ridiculous shirt. Definitely glad most of those concepts didn't make it to the final product. It's interesting to see for sure. It's like interesting to see like what how different Star Wars could have been. But like Jedi did not feel that important. It just felt like they were like kind of glorified guards. Lightsabers like weren't that prevalent. They weren't really that interesting. Yada yada yada. There's like a lot of stuff there that would have made Star Wars probably would have been dead in the water if it really like that.
Don't eat droids.
Teach our soldiers how to use these weapons.
I forgot about the Force-sensitive Flesh Raiders in this. Fun fact for anybody who is not familiar with SWTOR or Dawn of the Jedi lore, Flesh Raiders were a slave species made by the Rakata to fight in the majority of their battles, to be like their foot soldiers. And they all had lightsabers for or Force sabers, I should say, like where they would go through and they would like fight hand-to-hand combat with Jedi using Force sabers. It's a very weird visual, but a lot of Dawn of the Jedi takes place on Tython, and things that are referenced in Dawn of the Jedi are referenced in this. Like there are like Jedi masters who are referenced. There are like locations and stuff like that, like the ruins of Kaleth, I think is like what it's called or whatever. But that was like one of the temples that Jedi used to go and train at. The worst part about those comic books, I would say, is that it tricked people into thinking that gray Jedi were a thing, and that a part of like being balanced in the Force was being able to use both the dark side and the light side. Couldn't be further from the truth. Did they all build their own sabers? I don't think so. I think that they were like just kind of mass produced by the Rakata in general to quickly like just get them into battle, to get them going. Kind of like how like the Dark Brotherhood, they would just like hand out lightsabers to people. They're like, all right, whatever. Like you're 12, you're old enough to have a lightsaber. Get out there and go kill somebody with it. You know, that kind of shit. I feel like that's like probably what they were doing. But they had like a weapons master on Tython who kind of like reconstructed a Force saber. There's like specifically like a dark side thing for sabers.
I'm sorry, Selu. We all share your loss.
For every one of us the Flesh Raiders butcher, we should kill 10.
Will that restore your loved one to life?
Third time and write a message that doesn't go. What are you trying to write, man?
Where were you then?
Let's write a bunch of slurs or something.
Nothing I say will make you feel whole again, but we truly are doing.
I feel like this outfit's not working for my character right now.
Those animals. The Flesh Raiders won't stop until we're all dead. Are you going to let that happen?
Would make sense given the Rakata's ways. The Rakata are like comically evil. Like they're so over the top bad guys.
That's a promise.
They're kind of funny in that way. They're like, all right, I'm just gonna eat my rivals.
I hope you can fulfill that pledge. I fear he won't take disappointment well. People wonder why Jedi are forbidden to marry or have families. They don't see how attachments always lead to suffering. Passionate emotions can destroy a person, and Jedi destroyed by passion become something terrible.
Master Orgus, my man.
T7 was captured by the Flesh Raiders. You'll want to see the holo recording he made.
While I deal with the droid, talk to Rana. I think her people are ready to help
Oh, man.
thanks to you.
All right, fellas. Honestly, like I was saying, been a long ass couple of days for Brian, so probably gonna end the stream there. But I appreciate you guys just like coming, listen to me shoot the shit on Obi-Wan. If you're interested in a little bit of like old school Bard's Basement lore, stick around, watch the loop, listen to the outro song. But yeah, Thanks for coming to hang out. Sorry I was such a low energy stream. Sorry my body's so busted up, but I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully by Friday or Saturday we'll hit 20K. We'll see you guys there. Like I said, love you and appreciate you.
So what if we lose? We could always be afraid of something new. 'Cause we mostly feel the same. Somehow, nothing's new. I don't know what's gonna kill me, but I mean to find out. We've been asking stupid questions. Let's just blow it up and have some fun. That moving part of the groove. I'm just giving you a way to lose that mood. If you wanna kill some time, I'm off. See something new. And I don't know what's gonna kill me, but I mean to find out. We've been asking stupid questions. Let's just blow it up and have some fun. After